Hello, this is Odell, and this is a tutorial on how to do the Evil Clutches game. So first, I've been messing around a little bit here, so I'm going to make a new game. I'm not going to save the old one. And the very first thing I'm going to do, always do, is I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it to my home folder. So I go to Computer, and then I have a home folder mapped down here. Go there. And I'm going to go into my GameMaker resources, and I'm going to save it as, well, I'll just save it over the top of this one. How's that? I'm going to call it Evil. And I'm going to replace that. Okay, so the first step is, let's bring in some sprites. There's two ways to bring in sprites. You can right-click and create sprite, or alternatively, you can click on the Pac-Man. So let's click on Mr. Pac-Man. Let's do it this way. First thing I want to do is name it. Now I'm going to probably bring in the boss first. You can always name it later. Here's my Chapter 2 resources. I got there through going to my Dr. Evil Lab share, GameMaker, Chapter 2. And yeah, let's bring in the boss. There he is. Now you want to make sure that this button is checked to remove the background, or your boss is going to have a nice little brown box around him. Okay, open it, and SBR boss, and that's good. So yeah, let's bring that in. Now I'm going to bring in the rest of my sprites. I'm going to create a sprite, I'm going to load it, and I'm going to bring in the dragon. Well, we'll just bring in these two for now. You can bring the other ones in later. And this is SPR dragon. Okay, now I have the sprites. Let's work on the boss first. So for the boss, I want to create an object. An object is required, because an object is actually something in the game where you can put all the programming on it and all the variables and stuff about its position in the room. We'll get into that a little more later. Get rid of that. I could use the space. So I can either create an object here, okay, or I can also have right-clicked over here and created the object there. Well, the name of this object is going to be the boss. And this little window here is where you give it the sprite. You attach the sprite to it. So the object boss is going to get the boss sprite. Now we can do all of our programming. Programming comes under two categories. The events. These are like if statements. If this happens, and this is the result of the if statement, do these actions. Let's create our first one. I'm going to add an event. In the event that the boss is created, so as soon as the game starts, the boss gets created, we're going to move fixed. We're going to move down. Let's give him like a speed of 8. We can always change that later. Okay. So what's going to happen is when the game starts, the boss will move down with a speed of 8. Let's make a room so we can test what we've done. I'm going to just create a room. I'm going to take the standard size room, and you can see the object boss is selected down here, object to add with left mouse. I'm going to put my boss, I'm going to right click and delete that. Right click and delete that. You want him a little, you want to make sure the boss is completely within the room. It'll be a little buggy later. Just close the room, close this out, and let's run it. Hopefully it'll pop up in the window here and not on my other screen. There it is. Oh, bye-bye boss. Well, it worked, but we have a problem. Mr. Boss is leaving the room. We need to control that. The way we're going to do that is we're going to add an event, other, in its intersect boundary. The room, the outside of the room or the border around the room is a boundary. We are going to reverse, applies to myself, the boss. We are going to reverse vertically. Well, now that he's in the room, let's have a little test. All right, Mr. Boss is bouncing away. Okay, that works. Let's close that out. Now let's work on the dragon. I believe that's your character you're going to control. Create an object, and it's going to be OBJ. All objects are that. Dragon. And I think I'm going to slap the dragon sprite onto the dragon. Here's how we're going to do movement. We're going to do a keyboard event. So in the event a up keyboard stroke is accomplished, we're going to move up with a speed of 8. Don't click relative or it'll accelerate. All right. And then in the event a keyboard press is down, let's move down 8. And in the event there's a keyboard pressed where there's no key, let's stop the dragon. Okay, so we've got down, moves down, up, oh, no key is stopped, and up is up. All right, let's give it a test. Test, 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 test. You really got to be testy with this stuff. So, oh, what happened? Dragon's not in the room. You got to put in the room. Oops. Double click on this. And then I have the dragon here. Boss is already out there, so I can left click and put, can I move that back a little bit? Alright, that looks good. Now let's try it. Test, 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 test. There we go. We're looking good. Can't shoot anything. Pretty boring game, but we'll refine. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to add the rest of my sprites now, so here we go. I'm going to load, what am I going to load? Let's load a baby. Remove background, okay. SPR. Babby. All right. I'll just load the rest offline. Let's continue and let's do the fireball next. I want to be able to shoot some fireballs. So I'm going to create an object. It's going to be called OBJ fireball. And it needs a sprite. There's a fireball sprite. Now I want this fireball to move when it's being created. So I'm going to add an event. In the event that it's created, I'm going to move in this direction with the speed of 32. Cool. Now I don't want the computer to have to keep track of a ton of fireballs. So in the event where it intersects the boundary or goes outside of the room, I'm going to drag this one in here called destroy, and I'm going to destroy myself. So the fireball should destroy itself when it leaves the room. Now, how are we going to create it? Well, the dragon is going to be used to create the fireball. So I'm going to come here to the dragon. I'm going to add an event. I'm going to use something a little bit different. I'm going to use a key press, so I only get one fireball. So we'll have a key press of the space bar. I am going to create the instance of, an instance is basically a copy of the fireball. And where am I going to create it? I'm going to create it relative to where the dragon is at 0, 0. I'm actually going to start messing around. I'm going to move it 50 pixels forward so it's not created behind the dragon's head. I don't know if that's going to be exactly right, but let's just try it. Let's see, did I make any mistakes? Well, we'll find out in a minute. Let's just try it. Test, 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 test. Oop, there's, ooh, yeah, it's coming from the right spot. It's flying forward. Take that, take that, take that, take that. Evil, eat that, eat it, eat it. Wait, I got behind there. Eat it. Oh, I got behind. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I have a trail. Okay, so now we have, it can shoot some fireballs. Okay, let's create the demon now. Let's make a new object. Call it OBJ demon. Might as well give it a demon sprite. Now when this demon is created, we want it to move. And drag and drop that in. And this will make it move either one of these. It'll be a random direction. Third of the time here, third straight, and third there. And I'm going to put a speed of about 16 on it. So it's going to be created and flying around the room, but I don't want it to leave the room. So I'm going to put an intersect boundary. If it hits the boundary, I just want it to reverse directions vertically. So once created, it should do that. And also, if it intersects boundary, I want it to also, if it goes outside the left-hand side of the room, you'll see. I also want it to be destroyed. So I want to have tons of demons that the computer needs to keep track of flying off the screen. And did I have a speed of 12? Let's see. That's what I wanted. No, I put 16. Let's go with 12. Okay. Okay. Now here comes a little bit more of the coding. So when the demon, in the event that there's a collision with the fireball, okay, I want to destroy the instance of the demon. Fireball destroys the demon, and then I'm going to add to the score. The score tab is down here, and this is go set score, draw score, and test it. Well, I want to set it, and I want to give him 100 points, but I want it to be relative, so it gives them 100 more points than they have. And while I'm in here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm also going to destroy the instance of the fireball, or I might put that on something else. Instead, let's work on what happens in the event that the demon collides with the dragon. The demon collides with the dragon. We're going to go down to the score tab. We're going to show the score. We'll leave all the defaults here. And then we're going to do something evil. And that is we are going to restart the room. So control. And then main 2. We're going to restart the game. So the game ends, shows your high score, and restarts the game. Pretty unforgiving. Now we're going to summon the demons so that we have demons. And the boss is going to be the one that's going to summon a demon. So we're going to put what's called a step event. Step event, we're going to put it doesn't matter really in this case, but we're just going to put a normal step event. So every about 30 times a second, we're going to roll this dice under probability here. Okay. Under the control tab. So we're going to use a 50-sided dice. So it has a 1 in 50 chance 30 times a second to create whatever, or to do whatever I put next. And what I want it to do is to create the instance of a demon. And I want it to be at x0, y0 relative to itself. If you don't check this, it comes out the top of the screen at 0, 0. Well, let's see. See how many mistakes I made so far. Oh, there they are. Let's see. Oh, they're disappearing down there, so I made some type of mistake. Let's see if the fireball works. Go on, give me a demon. Yeah, fireball works. Okay, I was going to work on that intersect the boundary. Okay, so let's fix that error with the demon. Now we know where to look because the error is with the demon, so it's on the demon object. And the problem is when it intersects the boundary, it reverses vertically and it gets destroyed. Well, I'm going to take that off. I only want it to get destroyed when it leaves the room. So let's see if we can find leaves the room, outside of room. So if it's outside of the room, we want to destroy the instance of it. And we'll test that a little bit later. First I want to do some other things before we test it. Now we're going to work on the baby. So let's just get started by making the baby object. OBJ BABY. Oh, that's not a B. And let's set the sprite for the baby. Now the baby, you're going to lose points for shooting it with a fireball, but you're going to gain points to capture it. So let's start off with the baby by setting it in motion when it's created. So I'm going to add event, create, and when it's created, I'm going to move it to the left with a speed of 8, so it's going to come straight at us. Now, let's see if it's going to collide with the fireball. I'm going to destroy the baby, destroy the instance of the baby, okay? And if you kill it with the fireball, let's go down to the score and let's set the score relative to -500. You're going to lose quite a bit of points for shooting your babies. You should lose points for shooting your baby. Another event we're going to have is if you could collect it. So if the baby collides with the dragon that we're controlling, I'm going to destroy the baby, which doesn't sound nice. Baby's going to get itself is going to get destroyed. And then the score, that's set score. Yeah, I'm going to set the score to 300 relative. If I didn't check relative, it would set my score all the way back to 300 and hit OK. All right. That is our baby. Okay, the baby's pretty much done, but it's not being created. So the boss is going to create the baby. Let's go back to the boss, and on the step event, which happens 30 times per second, we're going to come up with a chance. And with the baby, let's go like a chance, and let's do this at 100. I don't want as many babies as I do demons. And we're going to go to main, and the boss is going to create itself, is going to create relative to itself, so 0, x, and y, relative to itself, is going to create a baby. All right. And it's going to come flying at us. Well, there's probably some mistakes. There always are, but let's have a test. Testing, 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 testing. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's a baby. Oops. Oh, yeah. I have it set that I will dot. There's a baby. There's a demon. Looking good so far. There's a demon. There's a demon. Just shoot a baby. Yep. There goes my score. Just lost my score. Got 100 back for the demon. The suspense. Get the baby. I have 600 points. Oh boy. Yep. Boy, it's kind of hard to play. Alright, there we go. Okay, so that's working. Let's have a look at our room. Pretty boring room. Let's add a background on it, and let's put a little bit of background music too. Okay, so first we're going to need a background. So let's right click here, and create a background. We can just call it background because we're not going to have more than one of them. Let's load my background. There it is, a BMP file. Let's open it up. Cool. Hit OK. Now we can open up the room. If you don't have it open already, just double click on it. I'm going to spread mine out so it looks nice. And you go in the background tab and set the background. And now we've got some aesthetics. We have the background. Cool. Now let's bring in a sound. Right click, create sound, load the sound, and we want the music as an MP3. So let's change this to list, or details, sorry. And it's not showing me whether it's an MP3 or not, but I think it's this one. We can check by looking at the file. The bottom one here is the MP3. So we're going to bring that in, and we're going to call that background music. Okay, so a common way of getting the music going is to put it on the creation event of one of your objects that's going to be in the room to start off with. So let's go to the boss, and it already has a creation event. So we're going to put in a play sound. Play sound is under main 1. Play sound. I'm going to set loop to true, so it'll replay at the end of the loop, and background music in. Okay, now we have a little background music, a little bit more in a background, a little better aesthetics. Now we just need to do some sounds for the collisions so that they sound a little better. So let's load some more sounds. I'm going to load the demon sound and call this demon death. Just like that, because it's when the demon gets shot. Oops, I didn't need to do that. Like that. Let's bring in the other sound, create sound, and we'll load the baby sound now. And call that baby death. Okay, I want this to happen when there's a collision. So I already have a collision. No, they're not on the fireball. They're on the demon. Alright, so the demon hits the fireball. I also want to play sound first, loop to false, and this is going to be when the demon dies. Okay, so that's the demon and a baby. Let's look at the baby here. When the baby hits the fireball, I want to play the baby death sound. I'll add a little bit more aesthetics to it. Now your challenge would be to put in the evil baby right here, so that when you shoot the evil baby you get points, but if the evil baby hits you, you die. That'll be your challenge. But let's test to see what we have, see if we like the gameplay and everything's working. I have a suspicion I might have to do something else with the fireball because I don't remember destroying the fireball. Yeah, you see how it goes through everything? Yeah, oh, I see it because I just inadvertently killed a baby. You don't want to kill babies. My score is probably negative. Pretty easy, huh? Alright, I gotta correct that error. Okay, so I've got the object fireball open here, and I want to add an event for collision with the baby. Oh, I want to destroy the fireball when it hits the baby. Destroy self. And I want to add an event, a collision with the demon, and destroy self or the fireball when it hits the demon. lucky on that one. Alright, I got 1800. Come on. Should have gone for that last one. Okay, well, now it's pretty much done. You have to add the evil babies. Thanks for hanging in there.